Sai Ram. After Hanumanji has been with us, guided us, guarded us, and bestowed grace for us to annihilate our kleshas and vikaras. After we have merged with Him, with the Source, from the innermost heart, reverence gushes out. We stay immersed in the glory of the Lord. In this background, the Chalisa actually starts. जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर, जय कपीश तिहु लोक उजागर। रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा, अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। Victory to Lord Hanuman, the ocean of wisdom and virtue. Victory to the Lord who is the supreme amongst the monkeys, who is the illuminator of the three worlds. O Lord, you are Lord Rama's emissary, the abode of matchless power, Mother Anjani's son, and also the son of the wind. Jai Hanuman Gyan Gun Sagar. The word Jai, as used in most of the bhajans which we sing, is translated as victory or long life, long live. More than long live, precisely it is victory. The name Hanuman originates from the Sanskrit Hanu, meaning the jaw, 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 and Man meaning prominent, the one who is having a prominent jaw. Hanuman means the one with large or prominent jaw. It can also mean one whose jaw is praiseworthy. As we all know about the story, not repeating, when Sri Hanuman leapt up as a child to swallow the sun, Indira struck him on the left jaw with his Vajra, but there was no injury. When Hanuman's father, the god of wind, came to know about this, he got annoyed and stopped giving wind to the creation. All deities gathered and apologized to the wind god for what Indira did. Wind god told them, "You have to bless my son with all your powers," which they all did. Thus he became all powerful and almighty. Goswami Tulsidas ji says that the spikes on the Vajra of Indra were ashamed because they could not harm. It is the most potent and most powerful weapon which Indra had, Vajrayudh. Then Indra praised him and named him Hanuman, meaning he whose jaw is praiseworthy. Since his jaw was unhurt by the Vajra, hurled by my hand, this lion among Vanaras indeed will be known by the name Hanuman, said Indra. Jnana Gun Sagar, ocean of wisdom and virtues. Along with wisdom, virtue is most important. Otherwise, wisdom or knowledge can nurture or breed ego, that I am so learned and others are not learned, others are ignorant, etc. And the very purpose of the Gyan is defeated because all the knowledge in spiritual field is to annihilate our ego. Here, if the virtue does not accompany knowledge, then the knowledge, instead of killing the ego, it breeds ego. Goswami ji combines Gun and Gyan and projects Hanuman as not simply the one who possesses virtue and wisdom, but as the infinite ocean of Gyan and Guna, leaving a lesson for aspirants for centuries to come as to how Guna has to be sustained and upheld when one gets Gyan. The greatest virtues are humility and nobility of character. Hanuman is the very embodiment of humility and nobility of character. Jnana Sagar. If we take the Gyan, ocean of Gyan separately, Valmiki Ramayana says that Hanuman was a scholar and he knew 9 kinds of Sanskrit grammar. He was Nava Vyakarana Pandita. Even with such astounding knowledge, he was Gunasagar, epitome of virtues and humility. How important is this lesson for us? All that we praise about Sai, about God, about a Jivan Mukta are not to be left just as a praise. All those qualities we are supposed to inherit from them by surrendering to them. This is the lesson today of when we praise Hanuman as Jai Hanuman Jnana Guna Sagar. Jai Kapish. The word Kapi means a monkey. Hanuman is an exceptional monkey. He is just not Kapi, an ordinary monkey, but he is Kapisha, the lord of the monkeys. Isha, as we know, means ruler. Kapi plus Isha, Kapisha. One more important revelation is that Hanuman, this expression Kapesh can also be interpreted as the ruler of our monkey mind, the master of our monkey mind, who tames our monkey mind. Kapesh. Kapi also stands for one who drinks the joy of the truth. What is the truth? The truth of Brahman. Ka is equal to joy or sukham. Pi is equal to pibati, one who drinks. So Hanuman is the one who drinks the nectarine Brahmananda. How beautiful. One may wonder, Hanuman has never been the king of monkeys. It was either Vali before or then Sugriva, who were monkey god, and Hanuman was serving both of them. How can a servant become the Lord Kapesha? To be ruling, just getting the throne from our parents, from our earlier rulers, does not confer the kingship. Hanuman here is revered as Kapesha, reveals to the world that true lordship is to be revered by all, worshipped by all, even if it means that the one who is worshipped is an uncrowned human being. He is a beggar. He has nothing, no possession to claim as his own. Yet, as Shivananji Maharaj says, yet he is this Shahenshah of Shahenshahs, Emperor of Emperors. He may not have the title, formal throne as a king. Yet he can be the Emperor of Emperors by his character, by his conduct, by his nobility, by his life, where his life becomes a message. Dear brothers and sisters, it holds as much for any spiritual organization, but since most of us are in the Sai organization, we have to be very clear. It is not necessary to be a coordinator. It is not necessary to be a chairman. It is not necessary to hold even a small title in a small center, in a small city, in a small state, in a small country, in a small world out of many worlds. Whether we hold a position or not is immaterial. Our conduct has to speak for itself. We have to exist as what? Jnana Guna Sagar. We have to be pure. We have to be blemishless. And we have to walk the talk. The degree, the title must be conferred by our God, our Sai, whom we serve. The degree or the title need not be from any organization. We always get carried away saying, of course Swami has said this, of course it is true. We get carried away by saying that being invited to take up a role as a coordinator in a Sai organization, we say, and Swami has said, that the one who is inviting you, actually he is not inviting you, actually it is me who is asking you. So we get carried away and we said that we can never refuse Swami's call. Yes, exactly, no doubt in that. But every authority in the management lesson comes along with a responsibility. When we are given a role in the Sai organization, the call of our Bhagavan is just not to act as the coordinator. The coordinator post has come and gone so many times for so many people for so many years, ever since Swami formed this organization, Sri Satya Sai Seva organization. When through someone he invites us and gives us a role, needless to say, he challenges us to exist as Gyan Guna Sagar, so that we are taken up as a role model and revered internally by all to exist as Emperor of Emperors. Kapish. These are all practical lessons, my dear brothers and sisters, which we have to hold very close to our heart. Otherwise, reciting Hanuman Chalisa mechanically for 50 years also is of not much use. Yes, it may purify our heart for a while. Thus far and no further. Tihu log ujagar. As the uncrowned king, revered and worshipped by one and all, Hanumanji illumines the three worlds. Three worlds can be interpreted in many ways, as three states of consciousness, as three gunas, or the three worlds, Swarga, Bhumi, Patal, etc., etc. In our spiritual path, it is more appropriate to take that he is the one who rules our three states of consciousness. What it calls for when we say Hanumanji illumines as Brahman our three states of consciousness, we have to be ever aware in the path of devotion that Hanumanji is watching us in all our three states of consciousness. Bas, this one line is sufficient. You can meditate and draw your own inference as to what it means when Sai or Hanuman is observing through and through 24.5/7 in all our three states of consciousness, then how we have to conduct. Once the mirror is cleaned, Mukura Sudhari, our kleshas and vikaras are removed, and then when as we exist, we are illumined by the pure consciousness in all our three states, waking, dream, deep sleep. Even with kleshas and vikaras, even as sinners, we are definitely illumined by Brahman, by Hanumanji, but upon transcending our kleshas, our ego, kleshas cover all possibility of ego. When we transcend, we ourselves exist as ever as the illumined and not an iota lesser than the illumined, whereby the illuminer, the duality between the illuminer, illumining and the illumined is gone. The duality between Hanumanji Bhagavan and we the Bhaktas is gone. Our three gunas remain in perfect balance. We need one of them in some or the other activities, other dharma in our life, but when all the three gunas are in perfect balance, then we exist as Jivan Mukta. We all know when you have been taught the philosophy of Sankhya on the creation, that only when there was disturbance in the three gunas, Prakriti could push to create with Hiranyagarbha, to create this world. As long as our three gunas are in perfect balance, all our actions are in perfect balance, and we remain actionless in all our actions as Brahmajnani. Ramadut Atulit Baladhama. Atulit, incomparable. Tulna in Hindi we say comparison. Atulit, incomparable. Ramadut, in the whole line, Ramadut Atulit Baladhama Anjani Putra Pavana Sutanama, Ramadut carries the most significant aspect. Hanumanji is a dutiful servant, and this servant sometimes even excels his master. The mission of Sri Hanuman was near impossible. He had to leap across the mighty ocean of Lanka, overcome various obstacles on the way, enter the impregnable city, guarded by so many asuras, mighty asuras. Even Indra would not dare to enter the city, defeating all those asuras. And he had to find Mata Sita. Hanuman had to give a proper message to Ravana. He might have even been killed in the process by Ravana or by his battalion, because Ravana is almost the mightiest king who existed at that time, blessed by Lord Shiva. All these tasks required superhuman strength and abilities. How it was possible for Hanuman? It is not to, of course, we are going to talk about the Atulita Bala and all the glories of Hanuman, but all these things was possible because he was acting as a messenger of Rama in absolute devotion and in absolute surrender. Atulit Baladhama. Source Dhama. Dhama is place. Here we translate it as source. Source of incomparable strength. Being servant of God, working for God in His mission, gives us all the strength, like the physical strength, the mental strength, the intellectual strength, the discriminative strength, strength for sadhana, and ultimately buddhibala, atmic strength, intuitive strength. And from where such strength comes for us, for Hanuman, for any bhakta who is truly devoted to his Bhagavan, all this strength comes from us, from our being a very humble servant of the Lord. Even in our case, in whatever capacity we serve Sai's mission, it is Sai, Bhagavan, Sri Satya Sai Baba, who bestows us all the strength, physical, mental, spiritual, which we use in our life, in our sadhana, all the way. We are not coordinators, we are not sevadal, we are not chairmen, we are dasas, we are humble messengers. Even the word messenger can carry an element of ego. We have to be just dasas, servants of the Lord in His mission. So for Atulita Bhala, it is most important to be Ramadut. And when one acts as messenger of God in his mission, there should be no motive of attaining even Atulita Bhala. Serving Lord should be the only motive, nothing else. Rather, let us delete the word motive. Serving the Lord should be the only state, nothing else. Anjani Putra Pavana Sutanama. On the advice of Lord Indira, she came to the earth. How? Earlier she was an Apsara in the court of Indira. Once in her youth, she told certain thing to a rishi which was disrespectful, and she was cursed by that sage. So Indira advises her to descend on the earth. Once she was a youth fighting a tiger, and she saw a youth. She saw a youth fighting a tiger, and she was impressed by him. It was Kesari, the king of the Vanaras, and so they got married. Later, she performed intense tapas so that she could have a son. Lord Shiva granted her the boon that he himself would be born as her son. The creative power of Lord Shiva was carried to the womb of Anjani by the Pavana Deva. There was no other agent so pure and so powerful than the Lord of the Wind to accomplish this. And so, thus Anjani gave birth to Sri Hanuman, an incarnation of Lord Shiva. In this way, Sri Hanuman is Anjani Putra and also called Anjaneya, son of Anjana. He is also called Pavan Putra, Pavana Sutra, and Pavana Kumara, the son of Pavan Deva, the wind god. and he is the 11th incarnation of Lord Shiva, and so he is also revered as Shankara Subhana, which we will get into in a later verse. Shankara Subhana Kesari Nandana. The word Putra means one who saves his parents from misery and hell, or we can say one who protects his parents and brings glory to his parents. Tirukural we have read Magan Tandaik Atrum Mudavi Ivan Tandai Ennotran Kol Enum Sol. One has to act in such a way that the world says, by what great penance did his father beget him. This is the benefit which a son should render to his father. Father includes mother, parents. Such a son was Hanuman, who brought his parents' name, Kesari and Anjani, to such a high level that when he is worshipped, their reference also comes. Otherwise, how the world would ever know who is Kesari or who is Anjani? A profound lesson from Anjani's life. With that, we will end. Anjani, due to a curse she got, as we already heard, she hid herself and performed intense tapas to get rid of the curse, which she suffered due to her ignorance in some way. We are all Anjani Putras in the sense, like she did something wrong and she was cursed. We have done thousands of sins in past birth, and we are all carrying the curse as Sanchita Karmas, birth after birth. Like Anjani hid herself, we are also hiding ourselves from our real divine nature and going about undertaking rituals and indulging in this material world and ritual tapas. Like she lost her way and hid herself in cave, we have also lost our way, got away from the source, and are ever in the search of the source. The curse in our lives are the karmas which we are undergoing. Like she was blessed with Shiva, that he himself would be born to her, ultimate blessing, exactly in the same way, when our prarabdhas are exhausted or cleared, like mostly exhausted, some of them may be pending, like Shiva offered himself to Anjani to come as her son, we would get the grace of Shiva in such a way that, leave alone being born as son, Lord Shiva or Shiva Shakti Swarupa, Lord Satya Sai, would grant us the greatest boon, the greatest ever grace to accept us as inseparable from him, Atma Swarupas, as he calls us. When the duality between Shiva and we is gone, and we ever exist as Niranjana, pure self, or Shiva, Shivoham, 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 Shivoham. जय बोलो हनुमान की जय। जय साईं राम।